Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. The north-south leg of Highway 2000 was just minutes ago officially renamed in honor of former Prime Minister Edward Seaga. The renaming this morning came amid criticism about whether it was appropriate. The opposition, which has been leading the criticism, kept true to its word and boycotted the ceremony. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the renaming of the highway was important to signal Mr. Seaga's role in developing Kingston and Ocho Rios in St. Anne. He adds that it is important to leave a legacy for future generations to understand the importance of vision, commitment and selflessness for the nation. And we will have more on this developing story in Primetime News at 7. And despite the government officially renaming the north-south leg of Highway 2000 after Edward Seaga, scores of persons vented their frustration with the exercise. Here is TVJ's O'Shane Masters with that report.
Members of the opposition, along with some disgruntled citizens, took to the streets on a Tuesday morning to demonstrate their opposition with the government's plan to rename the north-south leg of Highway 2000 in honor of Edward Seaga. The issue has been topical ever since the announcement was made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. The opposition made their position known from that point. They contend it's only fair that the highway be named after Portia Simpson Miller, since she was a conceptualizer of Highway 2000.
It is very much befitting of this highway to be named after her. And I hope that whenever the PNP is returned to government, that this highway will be so fittingly renamed after Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller.
Region 4 Chairman for the People's National Party, Denise Daly, says though the entire north-south highway may not be named after Mrs. Simpson Miller, there should be some consideration by the government for the St. Catherine leg to bear her name.
She worked for this highway and I believe that she should be named. Her name should be on this highway.
Party Chairman Fitz Jackson has however called on the government to rename something else after Mr. Seaga.
Mr. Seaga has done a lot for Jamaica and he should be appropriately honored, but not through the highway. One that he has opposed from its conception and through its development. Find something else appropriate to name after Mr. Seaga and we will give full support to it.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
The National Works Agency, NAA, is advising motorists that they may experience minor delays when traveling along sections of the Tucker Road in St. James. Over the next 2 days, rehabilitation works will be done on sections of the Tucker Road, which lies between Fairfield and Retirement in the parish. According to Community Relations Officer for the NAA's Western Region, Janelle Ricketts, the works being done on the road cost approximately $6 million. The project includes fixing a section of the West Gate to Portobello Road. It also includes improving the drainage features along the targeted road sections. Motorists are being advised to obey the posted warning signs and instructions of flag persons. The government will today unveil its crime plan amid allegations of failing to keep its promise to seek the support of the parliamentary opposition. For months, the government has stated that it wants to present a plan around which there is consensus to send a strong signal to criminals. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is set to outline that crime-fighting plan to Jamaicans today when he makes his sectoral presentation in the House of Representatives. However, shadow spokesman on national security Fitz Jackson says there was no consultation with the opposition on it.
We would have loved the opportunity to make an input, so at least they could put together a draft plan and say, look, give us your comments, your recommendations, etc., based on what they are proposing to do. We would have preferred that. But, be that as it may, they have not done that, and they're going to present a final document. We will respond to it when we do see it.
Mr. Jackson says the opposition will now have to react to the plan instead of backing it.
If there is one, we look forward to seeing it, we'll peruse it, and we will make our comments. But we would have loved for them to consult with us before they present the final document. So we have to react to it rather than cooperate with it.
A student of the Hampton High School has been hospitalized along with two other persons after a motor vehicle collision along the intersection of Main Street and Coke Drive in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth this morning. TVJ News has learned that about 6 o'clock, a truck slammed into a motor vehicle which then hit the teenager and her mother while they were crossing the street. It's alleged that the truck was traveling through the intersection when it slammed into the side of the motor car. The traffic light was not working. The driver of the motor car, along with the teen and her mother, were taken to the Black River Hospital. Their conditions are still not known.
Yes, the man, but no response to nobody, brother. Either stop light or walk or in work, then no response to nobody, brother. I don't know what since we there want to actually accident, they don't know no time, you know. 2 accidents, they don't know time. One woman, girl, let out him baby, I go up the road. The man slam him in the side. The girl, we are come past up. The robot taxi brother slam him, lick him in the supermarket. See this, I want to know. But we just be accident, they stop light, I don't know what. And them time they have work and see no in our work. But the man, we are come from east to west, they don't care nothing about nobody. They want to kill this man today. Remember me tell a big man.
The security forces have now been formally engaged by the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, to start enforcement activities against the burning of tires and other solid waste material near the Riverton disposal site. Director of Environmental Management and Conservation at NEPA, Anthony McKenzie, states that this is in keeping with NEPA's second phase of its enforcement program. TVJ's O'Shane Masters reports.
NEPA has been on an education drive in the Riverton City area to sensitize persons about the significant risk to air quality due to the constant illicit burning. Mr. McKenzie reports that there was a reduction in the burning of items in the area, but that NEPA observed an increase in the illegal activity late May, leading to early this month. He states this has left the agency with no choice but to move to stage 2 of the program.
It's persisting and it's very unfortunate. And so we've decided to move into a second phase, which we have contemplated on the start. And so our CEO, Mr. Peter Knight, has written to the Chief of Defense Staff and the Commissioner of Police in this regard. They have been sensitized to the issue and they actually on board. So we are moving to that stage, where they'll be on the ground looking at the particular sites, taking the enforcement actions and closing those, if you call them facilities or establishments or those sites where we have these activities.
Mr. McKenzie also shared a timeline for the remaining activities and the expected outcomes.
We should be having some meetings within the next week, 2 weeks, and overall we expect that by the middle of the summer, the area those facilities will be closed down. Those illegal sets of activities with respect to burning of tires, burning of garbage piles would be closed down.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And we go now to news overseas. Months after taunting each other, U.S. President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have opened a new chapter. Their summit Tuesday marks the first time a sitting U.S. president and a sitting North Korean leader have met.
I think he wants to get it done. I really feel that very strongly.
President Trump telling reporters he trusts North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un to keep his word to abandon his nuclear arsenal, after the two leaders signed a joint agreement pledging to work toward complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula.
We'll be verifying. It'll be verified. Well, it's going to be achieved by having a lot of people there.
In return, President Trump making a massive concession, agreeing to stop joint military exercises between the United States and South Korea, exercises that greatly annoyed the North Korean leader.
We will be stopping the war games, which will save us a tremendous amount of money, unless and until we see that the future negotiation is not going along like it should. But we'll be saving a tremendous amount of money. Plus, I think it's very provocative.
South Korea seemed caught off guard by the president's announcement, responding that they need to figure out the accurate meaning and intention behind the statement.
And it's now time for sports. Jamaica started their women's regional T20 championship on a winning note after a comfortable 8-wicket win over Guyana at Sabina Park Sunday night. There are also wins for defending champions Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados. We have more in this report.
The Jamaicans won the toss and inserted Guyana in the day-night affair. a decision which proved to be the right one. The Guyanese struggled to get going and were eventually restricted to 75 for 8 off their 20 overs, with Roshana Attar claiming 3 for 12 and Captain Stefani Taylor 2 for 11, both from 4 overs. Shanita Grimmond top scored for Guyana with 24, while Extras was the next best scorer with 17. In reply, the Cleon Smith coached team eased to victory at 76 for 2 off 16.2 overs, with Jodie Ann Morgan top scoring with 19, with support from Natasha McLean 16 not out, and Taylor returning to make 16.
We spoke earlier in the team meeting that we wanted to start the tournament on a high, and I thought the bowling unit did really well today, and finish off with the batting. Yeah, I think sometimes when you're playing at home and you see your home crowd, you really want to do well, and I think it was a bit of nerves and players being a bit shaky, but I know that once we get going we will pick up, and I thought with one wicket, getting that one wicket actually turned the game for us.
Taylor's side will next be in action on Tuesday at the Kensington Oval in a 2:30 encounter. Earlier, defending champions Trinidad and Tobago also made a winning start after a comprehensive 68-run win over the Leeward Islands in the first match of the doubleheader at Sabina Park. The Twin Island Republic first posted 132 for 8, with Stacey Ann King scoring 38 not out, while Renice Boyce got 25. In response, the Eastern Caribbean ladies could only muster 64 for 5 from their 20 overs, as King returned to pick up 2 for 13.
Yeah, I think our main objective was to just go out there and make sure that we hit all areas. I think we did that. The pitch didn't really play the way we wanted it to. The ball wasn't coming on, but I think Stacey Ann King really went out there and make sure she put a good score on the ball for the team, and I think it was a collective everybody just come together and make sure that we won this game, and I'm really happy from the start.
Elsewhere, Barbados recorded an opening match win as they sealed an 18-run victory over the Windward Islands at Kensington Park. Batting first, Barbados posted 101 all out with Deandra Dottin 40 against Akira Peters 2 for 9, Kiana Joseph 2 for 24 and Vanisha King 2 for 35. The Windwards in reply could only manage 83 for 8 from their 20 overs, with Joseph returning to score 14 against Shimella Connell 2 for 14.
I am happy with the win, but we didn't hit the targets that we wanted to hit with the bat for sure. We thought we got ourselves into a position where we should have gone to at least 120 after being 80 something odd in 14 overs. We thought that we should have gone to at least 120, but we had a collapse at the end, and as a result we only managed to make 100. But we know we have a very good bowling team, and we were confident defending that on this wicket.
On Tuesday, Trinidad and Tobago will oppose Guyana starting at 9:30 a.m, while Barbados and the Leeward Islands square off at 6:30 p.m. Both matches are being played at Sabina Park.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Vashon Brown. Join us at 7 for Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon.